Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to present the academic article on the topic of administrating organizations for the organizational justice. Biography of the member of this group. I am Ramahamirut Virojano. I am the author of this topic. And Prabu Palat Sarut Sangmano is the co-author. And next, Prabu Sangkarak Thavi Apayo, the co-author of this topic. And the last sub-member, Surapon Promkun, is the co-author of this topic. Guideline for this topic. Administrating organizations for the organizational justice. Biography. Abstract. Description. Organizational justice theory. Summary of the concept of organizational justice. Definition of distributive justice. Variables observing income, distribution fairness. Variable observed process fairness. Procedural justice definition. Observation variables on interaction fairness. And the last sub-guideline of this topic, conclusion. Let's move to the next slide. For abstract of this topic, this article is about implementing management principles to promote fairness in the organization, to understand how to manage it in the process. Bringing both material and human resources from management is to achieve the stated objectives and make the organizations developing a process for promoting fairness in the organization through equal participation from all parties in the organization that does not violate laws, regulations, traditions, lifestyles, individual differences, and universal morality and ethics. Keywords of this topic, namely administration, management, organizational justice. Description of this topic, management is based on human nature as a social animal which must coexist as a group. There must be a group leader and a direction of methods of supervision within the group to achieve happiness and peace. The phenomenon led to the transformation of the organization from a large organization to be a small one, reducing work processes, reducing used documents, reducing the number of personnel. There is an organizational competition to meet the needs of the customers. Management evolution in the path to prison. The management of the organization has adjusted the principle of management theory. This is description of this topic. Let's move to the next slide. Organizational justice theories. Social justice is a concept that raises questions about how the social benefits or allocation of social resources is allocated to the population in that society that is fair to all members of society or not. The concept of social justice is one of the most discussed social science concepts in an era of blossoming democracy, and the people have more political experience than they are today. The most important factor is the foundation for the creation of fairness in society. It is necessary to use mechanisms to create opportunities for the majority of members of the society in the organization to participate in the benefits that will arise from the management of the country, society, organization, The selection of appropriate methods in line with the way of life of the community is crucial to the maintenance of fairness in society. Let's move to the next slide. For summary of the concept of organizational justice, there are three kinds of this justice. One, distributive justice. Two, procedural justice. And three, interactional justice. Definition of distributive justice. Distributive justice means fair income distribution, equal recognition with this tie to the distribution of resources or distributing even the equal income that relates to the performance of each individual, such as salaries, benefits, and ad expenses, or the perception of fairness to the interests of the organization in different ways, that is among or receiving other useful opportunities such as promotion, training to increase potential, etc. Variables observing income distribution fairness. Distributive justice, there are three kinds of this justice, namely, a personal perceiving refers to an individual, a perspective on living conditions, economic position, rights, and freedoms obtained from coexistence with others. Two, social benefit receiving means receiving a share from the community organization, society, receiving public services. And three, training means participating in developing knowledge, work skills, training, human relations, management skills. This is the variable observing of distributive justice. And next slide. Variable observe process fairness, procedural justice. Procedural justice, there are three kinds, namely perceiving. The meaning of perceiving refers to devotion to self-sacrifice for the benefit of the organization, responsible for performing duties from the use of knowledge. Two, making. Making means making a decision refers to the right to choose to exercise one's capacity to perform an opinion work, accepting social truths. And three, allocation. Allocation means that all members of the organization have equal opportunities to receive essential basic services from the organization, having the right to freedom from attendance. Procedural justice definition. Procedural justice refers to the employee perception of the process used to determine the payment of awards to employees. It is called consistency, elimination of prejudice, objectivity, and ethics. Employees will accept an equal rewards if the organization shows them that the process by which the organization makes decisions about rewards is fair. How the benefits were allocated is not specific to the benefits that will arise for oneself alone, but process justice also stipulates some principles based on the competence of the organization. Let's move to the next slide. Observation variable on interaction fairness. Interactional justice, it is one of justice of this topic. There are three kinds of this justice, namely, working experiences refer to the length of time to join and perform work in the organization or the number of times we have worked with the group. Two, conflict reducing refers to functional functions and ability taking responsibility for decision within the scope, listening to different opinions, ready for a change. Three, community harmonious means that all members of the community organization participate in promoting synergies, or everyone has the right to express their opinions. Conclusion for this topic, the organizational justice, there are three kinds of this justice, namely distributive justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice. There are three kinds of distributive justice, namely personal perceiving, social benefit receiving, and training. Procedural justice, there are three kinds of it, namely perceiving, uh, second, making decision, and the third, allocation. The international justice, there are three kinds of this justice, namely a working experience, conflict reducing, community harmonious. In this article, we will present the concept of fairness, equality in the form of roles. There are 2 points. One, each person must be allocated an equal set of fundamental rights and freedoms. It is a complete and sufficient set and fits the same set of rights and freedoms of all other people. Two, socio-economic inequality can arise only when two conditions that follow. One, positions and duties must be open to all under the terms of fair equality of opportunity. Two, this inequality must be in the interest of the greatest number of disadvantaged members. There are steps for applying these two principles. One, agreeing on the principle of fairness. Two, jointly drafting a principle or community contract. Three, establishing a regulation related to a set of contracts. And four, follow the established rules and regulations and review fairness in all situations. Thank you for listening.